Welcome, everybody. We hope you've had a great week. I know Russell and I have. This is a week for the books.
Yeah.
So the other day, what day was that, Russell? Tuesday, Wednesday?
Something like that.
Russell came to me and said, hey, I need 5 rapid-fire questions and about these 4 vehicles that he took home and borrowed for, some of it was a fairly extended amount of time, right?
Yeah. I mean, the Ariya, we took the Platinum E-Force Ariya, we took it on a family vacay down to Oregon.
Yeah, I got questions about that, so don't spill your guts yet.
So, yeah, I had that for a whole weekend. And then we have a demo Ariya here that I've driven quite a bit. And I've driven a few other ones just to, take out and do pictures and, yeah. And most of them I took for a day or two.
Okay, so just like a weekend?
Yeah.
Extended weekend. Okay, so I know the Ariya, you took it to Oregon for a track meet.
Yeah.
How many miles down there did you go?
Driving. How far did I drive down?
Yes.
Okay, I was wondering if you want to know how far I ran.
No, you wanted hard-hitting questions about these cars, not about your track life.
I think it was about 150 miles or so.
150 miles down there?
Ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before you left, your pre-trip planning, was it just like if you were taking your daily down there, or did you have to do other stuff in advance?
I did nothing in advance.
Okay.
I sort of relied on the technology in the car to help me.
Okay, that's good. That's one way of doing it. That's kind of cool that you did that, because I'd be worried.
I was definitely worried, but I tried to not worry too much about it, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do this the way that the way that's intended.
Do it. Right,
Yeah.
Just rely on the tech.
Yes.
Now, did you charge it up before you headed out?
Yes.
All right, and you charged it at home or here at work?
Here at work.
And then how far did you get into Oregon before you had to charge it up again?
We got just south of Portland.
Okay.
And there was still plenty of range on it, but I was like, okay, we can get south of Portland and there'll be plenty of places to charge and we've got plenty of time to drive around and mess with this, which turned into...
Nightmare. That's actually my next question. How was it finding charging stations?
Well, the first charging station we went to, we drove around a block trying to figure out where it was. It ended up being buried in the corner of a hotel parking lot. That charger did not work. And then once I plugged it in, couldn't get it to work, and then couldn't get it to unplug out of the car. So I did a video, that was one of the first videos I did, showing people how to unlock that.
Right,
because, if you own the car and you've spent some time in it and, maybe your salesperson shows you how that functions. I didn't realize that. Apparently a lot of people on the internet don't realize that because I found a lot of search results for that. So stressed out about that. And then we went to another charge station that was supposed to be a fast charger for everything. It ended up being just a Tesla charger. And then finally we wound up driving 10 miles out of that town to another town to a library. And then we were good to go, which was nice. And
this is on the way down there.
Yeah. So we spent probably an extra hour trying to figure out the charging situation. So I would, if you're traveling, try to sort that out ahead of time, maybe. But
is there anything you think you could have done that would have alleviated the finding a charging station?
I don't think so. I think that one of the things, so infrastructure-wise, I think, because we've had the issue here where if our charger gets messed up out front, never does it fail that we start getting negative reviews online from customers saying that our charger doesn't work, because when they look on their nav, it tells them to come here that we have a fast charger. And our fast charger's down. And there was a time when our charger was down for a while. It was down for a couple months, I feel like. And the thing when you searched online did not tell you that it was down. So people would come here, they'd get off the interstate, fly in here really quick. And this was when chargers were a little bit more scarce. And now there's chargers at all these dealerships here in this auto mall, just about. Right. So.
All right, so last one for the Ariya, the tech that's in that vehicle. Is it overwhelming or is it awesome?
In the Platinum, I will say it was overwhelming. And awesome, I think.
It was overwhelmingly awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
All that. Yeah, I will say that I really do like the Platinum E-Force. It's fast. I think it's quick. The technology is like anything and everything you could want. I mean, it'll drive itself. I actually have a clip of me driving. No hands, drinking my coffee.
Wow.
Which was, it's something that sounds so silly, I think, if you don't have a car that will do that. But I do like the functionality of the ProPilot and the ProPilot 2.0 and the lower tier Arias, and then the upper tier, the Platinum, has the ProPilot 2.0. And it really does relax you when you're driving.
Because have your hands off?
Well, not to have the hands off, because it does steering assist. Speed control is like, it'll regulate itself. Like if you're speeding up, slowing down, if you're in town driving 20 miles per hour, you can set the cruise 25 miles per hour. And if you come up to a stoplight, it'll stop itself behind the car in front of you. And then you can tell it that when that car goes to follow, and it'll follow. So it's like you're sitting at a stoplight, you can do all that, and then just kind of like you can essentially relax a little bit. You don't have to. It's amazing, like how much you don't realize that you just like pay attention to everything. Foot on the brake pedal, the brake assist, I love. You have no idea how spoiled I am by that. Yeah, putting your foot on the brake pedal and holding it down.
What a hassle.
Chumps.
What a hassle. See, I'm the opposite. I actually hate technology.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a commercial, I think it's for Chevy, and there's these people that are driving along in this electric car, or whatever it is, but it's got hands-free steering, and they're just sitting there clapping. I'm like, this is why they came up with that technology? Like, so people can just clap along to a song?
I didn't, I used the ProPilot 2.0 when I went to Oregon very briefly, just to like experience it. And while I can see that, okay, this could come in handy, just to get your hands off the steering wheel, maybe stretch out a little bit. Now it has sensors in it that watches you, so you have to stay paying attention to the road. If you don't, it yells at you. If you look at the radio,
you're not going to put a book up in front of you.
No, don't do that. But I didn't do that. I did use the cruise. I did use the ProPilot. I did have the steering assist on, which is basically it will correct you if you start to get out of your lane, if you start drifting, something like that, and which I like that. I thought that was kind of cool.
And that sensor that reads your face, it's to prevent you from falling asleep too, right?
And if
like it'll vibrate or something.
So it has alerts in the car, and it will. I don't think it vibrated the steering wheel, because the steering wheels do have like haptic feedback in them. But I do know that if it finds that you are like dozing off for real, it will get you off the road. I did not test that. I would love to, but I don't.
Interesting.
I'm scared that it's going to call 911 on me.
All right. So that is it for the Ariya.
Yeah.
Now we're going to move on to the Pathfinder. All right. So the latest Pathfinder,
yes.
Is it a true Pathfinder, or is it an all-wheel drive family hauler?
I think that I would lean more towards the family all-wheel drive, the family hauler.
Yeah.
But what I will say is that I do think it is. I don't want to like lump it in with the previous generation that had the CVT and all that. I think that the new one is more Pathfinder than the previous. But I do think that they put so much drivetrain tech into it that it might turn off a lot of people that want to, change out rear ends and things like that.
Yeah, that's never going to happen. In my opinion, that's never going to happen, because you look at it and it's got these big, 19-inch wheels, low-profile tires. It's got a front, spoiler deflector thing that's about 4 inches off the ground.
Yeah, you look at the photos or the videos that we posted with Tom's WD-21, and it is amazing, the bumper height difference.
Right.
Like, there's a full 12 inches of extra ground clearance on the front of his. Then
easily, yeah.
But I think it's it'll be interesting to do a Rock Creek edition when we get those, because the Rock Creek edition is more, I think, off-road suited.
Did you get to select any different modes? Like, did you take it anywhere off the street?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think it should be called the Pathfinder, or should they have called it something different?
I think it deserves the Pathfinder name. I think with the way that technology is going, the way that people who are buying cars, I mean, I'm like you. I like old cars. I like simplicity.
Right.
Give me something that needs to warm up in the morning. Much as I hate that, I love the Ariya because it's warm as soon as you turn it on. But the Pathfinder name, I think it's deserving of it.
Now, on the Pathfinder, what feature did you like the best?
For me, it's, the space, third row seat, tons of room. The captain's chairs in the middle, I really like those. They fold up. There's sunshades in the back. I think a lot of the features in the Pathfinder that I liked were very family oriented. I have 3 kids, 3 big kids.
Right.
So having all that space is great, and I think that thing's got charge ports at every seat, cup holder, enough cup holders for everybody, storage, things like that, which I really, I didn't get to use it with my family, but I did find it very like this vehicle would be adaptable for me.
Right.
This could be something that I could own, or my wife could own.
Right.
And she gets all the big cars. So
now that one that you had, what trim level was it? You remember?
Oh, it's a platinum.
Okay. You know how much those go for?
Oh, I didn't write it down. I can't remember. Yeah, I'd have to look.
Okay.
We'll insert it right here.
We'll come back to that
screen.
That is it. That is it for the Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Moving on now to the Frontier. How long did you have the Frontier for?
Couple days.
Was it automatic or manual?
Auto.
Automatic, okay. Was it 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive?
4-wheel drive.
Did you put it in 4-wheel drive?
No.
Okay.
Did not.
Now, with pickup trucks, they plan preload into the suspension, right? Because they anticipate you using this truck for work.
Yes.
And so they put all this preload into the rear springs especially, and that can make the ride a bit choppy. Like usually when you get some weight in there, it's a much smoother ride.
Right.
So you just drove around for a couple of days not hauling anything. What was the ride like? Was it smooth or like a truck?
I thought it was pretty smooth. I mean, I feel like the Frontier, you feel like you are driving a truck. Anytime I hop in a truck, I feel like it kind of commands the road a little bit. And while the Frontier is in a big truck, it felt like that. It felt like I was in a truck, but it felt really nice. Like there's some really big like speed humps around my neighborhood, and I went over those not like going super slow, but fast enough to kind of just feel it, and it felt very solid going across those. I didn't get that rear end like kind of clunkiness
kind
that
of
you feel. Yeah, no, I love the way it rode.
Did you get the crew cab or just the extended
crew
cab?
cab?
The crew cab.
Yep.
Did you take your kids or family out?
I did. Yeah.
How'd they like it?
They loved it.
Enough room?
Yeah. Yeah. There's plenty of room in it. Okay. Yeah.
Now, how about value for money? Because I looked up the prices before I came in here. The Frontier, entry-level Frontier, bare bones model, $29,370. The Tacoma, $28,250. And the Ranger, $27,400. Now we're talking $2,000 worth of difference between a Ranger and a Frontier.
Right.
So it's a negligible amount. Do you think that's a fair price for that truck? Do you think it's good value for the money?
I think so. I haven't really looked at the base models in any of those. I will say I definitely am always more attracted to the Pro 4X trucks. I like the way they look. I think they look great. But yeah, I mean, it's just, golly, it's so much money for new vehicles now. And to think that a base model truck is, $27,000 to $29,000 is wild.
I mean, it's still a lot of money.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. But yeah, I think so. I think if you need a truck, if you need a mid-sized truck, it's a great truck. It's a Frontier. That's one thing that I wrote down in my notes about things that I liked about these vehicles, and the new Frontier, one of the things that I really liked is that it's a Frontier.
Right.
Like they changed it enough. They made it look different. They finally updated the looks. I love the looks of the truck.
Yeah.
But it's still a Frontier. Like I can get in that old Frontier that we have out there and it just feels
familiar?
the same.
Yeah.
In certain ways.
I mean, I think the redesign on the Frontier is I think it looks like it's a good looking truck. I was looking at the Tacoma. Mm-hmm. It's kind of funny because you look at a Toyota pickup truck and you're like, that's definitely a Toyota. Or you look at the Ford.
Right.
I think it's the better looking truck out of those three.
Yeah, I've always thought the Tacomas were nice looking trucks. But I feel like the Tacomas and just, I'll throw the Tundra in there, the newer ones, I feel like they are getting like really strange. And some of the styling cues that they're using, they're just, I don't know. I've always liked
I'll take a look and see what they're doing. Now, the one that you took home, that had the Fender sound system in it?
Yes.
Did you put your music in it?
Yeah.
How was it?
It sounded really good. I liked it. Really punchy. Really punchy stereo system. It's one of the things I found with all these models is that they all had nice sounding stereos in them. But the Fender was definitively like the punchiest one, I would say, as far as like, and could be the cabin is smaller in that truck. It's got a subwoofer in it.
Now, when you say punchy, what do you mean punchy?
I don't know.
It was a visceral. Now, here's what I noticed, because you took me for a quick ride around in it, and I was like, okay, Fender sound system, let's check this out. So I was pushing the button to adjust settings, and it goes from bass straight to treble. There's like no mid adjustment, which
none
is
of
crazy.
These, I've checked all the radios, none of them have mid. And I will say that the mid is one of those things, it's like I don't, that's where I want to adjust.
That's where you're fine tuning. I mean, I guess it's all fine tuned, but to not have that option, I think is a bit bizarre.
That was the thing I would say. I mean, I say punchiness because there was definitely the subwoofer feature in that truck, in that sound system is on display. Like it definitely, like you feel it if you have the right music playing.
Viscerally.
It's Tom's favorite word.
All right, so that is it for the Frontier. I think we're on to the last vehicle. Yeah, the Z. All right, so I know you drove this car responsibly.
Yes.
And respectfully.
Yes.
But when you put your foot in it, the performance where you're like, okay, this is scary. This is awesome. What was your reaction to getting on it?
I would say awesome. I was scared getting in that car because I'm not used to driving a car like that. But I will say that thing handles well. It handles its power well. When you get on it, it's ready to go. There's no games.
Right.
You just hang on and let's do this. It was awesome. I definitely didn't feel scared accelerating hard in that car 30 to 45 miles per hour. Because,
Did you take it on the freeway?
On a closed track. Huh?
Did you take it on the freeway?
Did I? No, I drove it through town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you need to get it back, get it on the freeway and do an on-ramp.
Yeah.
Short.
Yeah, no, I didn't take it on the freeway.
All right, so this is something that I would really want to know. Rear visibility, good, bad, or dangerous?
We were just talking about this. Me and my wife, she had a balloon for my oldest kid's birthday in the back of her car, and she was trying to see out the back, and she says, I feel like I'm looking at the back of that Z right now, because it was up on the roof, and you could barely see. It's looking, if you need to turn around and look back, it's terrible. But
is there a camera?
It has
a backup camera?
It has a backup camera. Yeah, I would say. I mean, it's exactly what you would expect with that car. If you can, like, if you're taller than I am, you could probably see fine if you turn around. But for me to see out that back window and see anything that's relevant, I have to like lift myself way up, so it's useless.
So the camera is your friend.
Yeah.
Entry level 400Z, $41,000. After driving it, would you say, this is well worth that?
Yeah. I think if you get manual, get a manual transmission. The one that we had is a performance edition. It was a blast to drive. I love driving it.
Does it have paddle shifters?
On the autos? I don't know. I drove a true manual.
Oh, you drove the manual.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I drove a true manual, but I would say that I believe the auto does have paddle shifters on it.
Okay.
But we haven't had one, so I don't know.
Yeah, $41,000. That's $12,000 less than the 3-liter Supra.
Okay.
So based on that, I mean, I would say that it's
yeah.
Because when they first came out with it, before we got it, they're saying, yeah, it's going to be about $40,000, and I was like, there's no way they can make that car an MSRP at $40,000, but 41 grand, that's really good.
I mean, I mean, the Z to me was, even if you had an auto, and I don't mind automatics, but if you just wanted something to cruise around in, that might be the perfect car for you because it drives really comfortably. I love the way it's steered and handled. Like it was great.
Does it have suspension adjustments?
I don't think it did. No. I mean, it does have a bunch of different drive modes. I'm not sure if that. I don't think that messes with the suspension.
Because I know the earlier cars, the earlier Z's, like would have a button or a toggle to go through the suspension.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything that you feel that Nissan missed with the new Z cars? Anything like quirky, like you're like, oh, that's weird.
I think that one of the things, because it's based off of the Z34 370Z platform, one of the things that really struck me as kind of bland was when I opened the door the first time and saw that it basically had the same exact door panel as the 370Z in it. I mean, you know, some of the stuff, you know, doesn't really matter.
One thing I remember you pointing out when we got that in, you were like, check this out, and you showed me the key fob, and it's just your standard Nissan.
That's another thing. Yeah.
Fob.
And the weird thing is that they used the original style iKey and not the new style iKeys, which I found really surprising.
Right.
Because I do like that. I like the newer style iKeys a little bit better, and I know it's, you know, it's a silly little thing, but maybe I'm just tired of seeing the old ones that have been out since 07.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much it. I didn't have much for the Z, but I do have a few final questions. Now, of the group, which would you want for your daily driver?
If money wasn't an object at all, I would 100% pick the Ariya.
The Ariya, you would pick the Ariya, okay. Why would you pick that?
It's to me is the most comfortable. I think it has the best interior layout. There's things that I hope that they change and improve upon, but I think overall that vehicle, when I get in it, I feel completely safe and comfortable, and I feel like it's easy to drive. It's kind of fun to drive if you want it to be. Even the base models. I mean, it doesn't have to be the Platinum, although I do like the Platinum. I do like the Platinum with that blue interior.
On the Ariya, for backseat entertainment, is there anything back there for the kids?
No. And I will say that taking that car on a family trip with 3 big kids, 10, 14, 15, we were definitely cramped. Okay. You know, using it in town, you know, if you're packing up a bunch of camping gear, you want to get a roof rack and a box or something, and that's an easy fix. But you know, the Ariya starts out at $45,000. It's not an inexpensive vehicle by any means.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see what the prices of those do
over time.
But yeah, I mean the Platinum's 68. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
But I you know, not to, you know, I went and compared a bunch of electric vehicles, similar categories, and that's just the way it is. You get the same range and, you know, things like that.
All right, last one.
Yeah.
You're going on a cross-country road trip by yourself.
By myself?
I know that's a hard question because as a family man, you never think of doing anything by yourself. It's always the rest of the family.
It would depend. Maybe it depends on the season. Is it summertime?
Yeah, you're going to drive to Florida.
Just give me the Z. Just give me the Z.
You're going solo in the Z.
Give me the Z. Yeah. If you know, if it was wintertime, I'd probably say the Ariya, and it would have to be the Platinum with the all-wheel drive and everything.
Really, you'd go cross country in an electric vehicle, huh? You'd have to plan that out really well.
Yeah, there's got to be, if any of you are EV owners, and I never looked. I meant to look. There's got to be an app or something that helps people find charge stations. That's more of a consumer and not, just a Google fed navigation. That's like, oh, there's a charger here, there's a charger here, but like actual like people going, hey, don't go there. That thing doesn't work. Because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to rip that cable out of that charger, the one I went to.
There is I don't know about for like, but I know what you're talking about. There's one called like My Gas Buddy or something like that, where it tells you like the current prices of gas all over wherever you happen to be. So there must be one out there where it's like, hey, this charger's not working.
Yeah.
Avoid.
Yeah. One thing I wrote down here that I'm surprised that you didn't ask me 0 to 60 times on these.
Because, I know these guys probably want to know that stuff. I'm not a performance guy. I don't care.
Well, I looked it up because I was interested, because the Ariya is quick. If you've never driven an EV, go do it. It's 100% torque as soon as you push the gas pedal or the
go pedal.
The go pedal. So the Z, with the manual transmission, 0 to 60 is 4.3 seconds. The Ariya, with the E-Force, so dual motor, 0 to 60, 4.9 seconds.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you right now, from the get-go, the Ariya feels way more powerful out the gate, because you got to wait for the Z to spool up and go. But once it does, it's a party.
It's there.
It's a party. But yeah, I would not say that I've ever been an electric vehicle advocate. I love the Nissan Ariya. I love it. I can't wait to have customers coming in and tell us how they feel about them, the different models. There's a bunch of different models. It's very confusing. If anybody can figure out the decryption of all the different Ariya models, simplified, at a glance. What is it at a glance? Because I tried to do it, and I was just like, there's always...
Our sales team can do it.
Our sales managers were having trouble trying to figure it out, because we were talking about...
They have to go to school for the Ariya.
Yeah, it's... a
lot of features.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's a lot of tech. It's a lot of. I'm hoping that a lot of the things that I like in the Ariya trickle down to the other cars, like the gauge cluster. I hope that they start doing kind of the flat panel touchscreens. Yeah, I do like that dash. I think it's cool looking. I think going from that to a car that has the flat panel touchscreen infotainment to like a cluster that's actually like digital, like in the Z, it's like it's weird to me. Like, I think it would be nice just to have all that as one piece. I like it. I think it's cool. But this is our longest video we've ever done.
Probably our best one we've ever done. What do you guys think? Did I miss any questions that you need answers for? Leave a comment, and Russell will
yeah, let us know. This is our real first venture into vehicle things.
Yeah.
And we've got to get Tom behind the wheel of some of these cars. I keep telling him to take stuff.
He keeps telling me to take them home, but I'm like, I don't have any intention to buy them. I don't want to waste anybody's time here at the dealership.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just put it towards knowing the product.
We literally have an Ariya sitting here that you can grab the keys and take it home.
Yeah, so that's it. Leave a comment, ask a question. Thanks if you watched all the way through to the end here. Thank you. I know it was a long video, and we appreciate you hanging out.
Yeah, and if you want us to do some other cars, let us know, because we'll do them all. Go check out that Versa video we did.
See ya.
Bye.